Let's get it going. IDS Summit 2019, please welcome the President, the CEO, the founder of DCKAP, Karthik Chidambaram.
Vanakkam, good morning, bonjour, and buenos dias.
Good morning.
Yeah, so good morning in our country here. The equivalent is Vanakkam in Tamil, which is my mother tongue. Just thought would let the audience here know about it. We are definitely very excited to be here at IDS 2019, the Industrial Distribution Summit. First off, I want to thank you all for coming. It's great to have you here, and definitely a big shout out and thank you to our sponsors, BigCommerce, Bezlio, Punch Out to Go, and Content for Commerce. They're all here. If you get a chance, I definitely would like you to interact with them and know their businesses. We always wanted to do an industrial distribution summit. And we asked ourselves this question, why are we doing this? Because we think distributors are curious. We think that distributors really want to learn new things, and they also want to stay ahead of the game, and they want to be digital. And what better place to host this than Cleveland? So definitely excited. Just to give you some background about DCKAP, I think Bill mentioned this. We started in 2005, bootstrapped. We are a little over 110 employees today, worked with over 300 customers, helped them grow. And we are also platform agnostic. We work on multiple platforms like Magento. We work with BigCommerce. We work with Shopify, SAP, Hybris. And just not there, right? So it's not just technology, because that's something, whenever we talk to distributors, that's something we always hear. Hey, I have a site, everything is up and running, but what about the money? Where's the money? It really needs to generate revenue. So we also do marketing services and quality assurance. So we are a full service agency in that aspect. Here are some of our product offerings. Cloras, which is a cloud integration product. Essentially, it helps you integrate two systems together. We are definitely very excited about this, more in the lines of MuleSoft and Informatica. We have a great team working behind this. And in this context, this is like a system which helps you connect your ERP with your e-commerce. And we're getting great traction, and we also have customers right here in this room using this. Another product from DCKAP is Productimize, which is a product configuration and a product customization solution. Essentially, it helps you visualize and buy. So whatever you're trying to buy, it helps you visualize it, and then you're able to visually see what you're ordering and then purchase that. And we also have QA Touch. This is another interesting and exciting and a fast-growing product. We have over 1,000 customers using this product, and this is actually a test management solution used by companies across the world. One more thing. We are very excited to launch a new product today. And every time we talk to distributors, one thing which is a big challenge for them is managing their product data and managing their product data and product information. And we talked about this a lot, and we looked at a multitude of solutions. And one thing we found is, hey, it really, the solutions which are out there in the market, one, they are too expensive. Hey, cost is fine, but then that really doesn't solve my problem in terms of managing product data information. So we are launching today FlexiPIM, which is a flexible product information management system. And this is a new product offering from DCKAP, and we are very excited about this. And if you'd like to talk to us about it later, or if you want to talk about your product challenges, we are here. And a big kudos to the team which worked on this, and definitely excited, and thank you all for your support. All right, that's about DCKAP. So B2B and e-commerce, all right? So everybody in B2B loves e-commerce. And everybody in e-commerce loves B2B. Right? So this is something which we find to be very, very interesting. Forrester predicts that the B2B revenue is going to be about $1.8 trillion by 2023. And that's no small number. And it's very exciting. By show of hands, how many of you in the audience know who this person is? The smart man here. No. Good try. Yeah? Anybody? Are you sure? All right. That's D.G. Macpherson, the CEO of Grainger. So he predicts that 80% of Grainger's business is going to be online by 2022. That's just 3 years from now. He's really not predicting, right? So they have the data. And with the data, they're able to tell that, hey, the B2B business for Grainger is going to be about 80% of the business is going to be coming from online. And these are big numbers. And this is what everybody here in this room is excited about. OK, now that we understand this, how are B2B suppliers and how are people, how are industrial buyers sourcing new vendors today? Right? On a survey which was done by ThomasNet, thanks to them, 72% of the industrial buyers say that they look at the supplier's website to make a decision. So they go to the website, they look at it, and based on that, they want to make a decision. And 77% of the suppliers say that they go to www.google.com and search for the information that they need. So you like it or not, you like Google or not, you have to make sure that it is optimized for the search engine. And nearly half of the survey respondents, right? So what they said was, hey, if I do a request for quote, I'm expecting a response back from the company within 24 hours. And less than 50% of the people, more than 50% of the people would not want to wait for more than a week. So it's absolutely very, very critical for you to respond to the quotes immediately, and please make sure that the RFQ, the request for quote, is actually working on your website. So now that we talk about, hey, 77% of the people are actually looking at the website to make a purchase decision. So it's actually absolutely critical to make sure that you have great product content in there. Because content is everything. And if you really look at it, content is not like something which you just work on it for 4 hours. Hey, I get a team together. It really doesn't take more than 4 hours to put something together, get something up and running. But then after 4 hours, if you just leave it like that, hey, it doesn't work that way. It is an evolving process. It is a work in progress. It is a continuous process. And it is very important that everybody here, the distributors here in the room, understand that. Well, data is money. Data is dollars. And everybody here in the room, sure, understands this. By show of hands, how many of you here in the audience use your data to make decisions? That's a great number, right? So let's look at an example. We have 3 warehouses. And each of these warehouses employ a certain number of associates. Warehouse 1 has about 140 associates. Warehouse 2 has about 80 associates. And warehouse 3 has about 50 associates. Altogether, it's about 270. Looking at an average wage of about $21 an hour, bare minimum. If you look at it, the cost of payroll for a year for these associates is about $11.7 million. That's a big number. And think about this. A mere 5% increase in productivity of all these 370 people or 270 people is going to result in more than $500,000 of cost savings for a distributor every year. The power of data. But what does this all really mean, right? Does this mean, okay, it could also mean that, hey, all these 270 people work 5% extra hard every day, and that results in more than $500,000 savings a year. Or it could also mean that, hey, we have the right systems in place, and we make them efficient, and we make them empowered, so it really improves their efficiency, saving over $500,000 for the company. Ask yourselves this question. It is extremely important. As distributors, whenever you launch new products, are you really leveraging product data, the data you have, to make those decisions? Are you looking at the data on the existing product lines? What kind of revenue it's generating? What are customers really asking for? And then, based on that, are you basing your decisions to make your new product launches based on those product decisions? This is something I want all of you in this room to ask yourselves. Slide's a little not so clear, but what do B2B customers really want today, right? So what do they really need? This is a question which we asked ourselves a lot. Like your customers, what do they really need, and what are they really asking for? They are looking for low-effort experiences, right? So the customers really want to experienceify the buying experience. What really is a low-effort experience, if you really look at it? How many of you here in the audience use Expedia? That's a good number. I love using Expedia. I travel a lot, and I don't mind paying a few extra dollars to Expedia to manage my trips, because every time I travel, hey, I stay at the hotel tonight, and then 6 months down the line, I'm visiting Cleveland again. I don't really have to think, where did I stay? How much did I pay? And I just go to Expedia.com, go to my history of the trips, and repeat the purchase. It's extremely convenient. And then if I want to repeat the trip, I want to add another family member or something, I'm able to repeat the trip with changes. So these things make it extremely convenient. I wouldn't even say convenient. It's actually a low-effort experience. I'm not really spending a lot. I don't want to really spend a lot of effort booking my travel. I just go to Expedia, hey, look for it, book the flight, and that's it. So that's the kind of experience the customers want. So how would this apply in the B2B context, right? For the audience here in this room, how can you provide a low-effort experience to your customers? Hey, view invoices. I think these are all some basic things, which you might already have. But if in case this is something you don't on your website today, then that's something you really have to work on. Make sure, I really want to know what are the things I ordered from your site, and I want to go back and look at the product history, view order history. And the most important thing, we have also found is I want to be able to have the ability to repeat the order. Hey, this is what I ordered like 3 months ago, and I need it again, and repeat order with changes. This is interesting. On a low-effort experience, right, if you really look at it on a survey which was done, 94% of the customers are willing to repurchase, or they really want to repurchase, if they had a low-effort experience. Think about it. And 88% of these customers are willing to spend more because they had a low-effort experience with your company. The next one is very interesting. This is something a lot of us could relate to as well. Hey, we do a great job, and the customer is very happy, but then it's hard to get a great review from the customer because the customer is really, really busy with a lot of other things. But then we might have a bad day, and we didn't do such a good job. It happens. And one bad experience, 81% of the people are more likely to leave a bad review because of a bad experience. That's the nature of the game, you like it or not. And this is something I've experienced it myself. So it's extremely critical for you as a distributor to ask yourself this question. Hey, how can I provide a low-effort experience to my customers? Okay. Now that we understand about low-effort experiences, how do all of us here in this room, how can we become a low-effort experience company? What are some of the things we can do to become a low-effort experience company? Every customer problem becomes an opportunity. Every time the customer complains, be happy about it. Hey, let's document things. Let's make it better. Why is this customer really complaining? And every customer problem becomes an opportunity. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Set the right expectations to your customers so they know what they are getting. They know when they are getting. So you set the expectations correctly. Use technology to your advantage. Leverage data. This is something you should definitely do. What are the systems you need to have in place to be a low-effort experience company? And empower employees at all levels, so they have the right information to make a decision. It's extremely important, right? So we here at the technology conference, we all talk about technology, but then sometimes we do forget to empower our employees. And we'll talk about this in a little bit on why this matters. Empower employees at all levels so that they have the information they need to assist your customers. And if there is one thing you can do, and if there is one takeaway from this conference for you, is go look at your website content. And rewriting your website content will make a big impact, will have a big difference to whatever your customers expect from you. And that does lead to a low-effort experience as well. This is interesting. It could be a little aggressive as well. A need for customer service drives disloyalty. This could be an extreme case. If there is a need for customer service, then the experience isn't really working. What are you missing? If somebody, every time there is a request which comes to your customer service, I really want you to take a look at it and see what can you be doing better. Ask yourself this question, hey, what should I be doing better? And this customer is asking this, can I put that information somewhere in the website so that the next time the customer comes and asks for the same information, I don't really need to do another service. Yeah. That's Amazon. Right? Well, you like it or not, Amazon predicts that their B2B business is going to be about $25 billion by 2021. They're not really predicting. I think it could be a lot more than that. They're just looking at data to make their decisions. By show of hands, how many of you in this audience think that Amazon is a concern for your business? Yeah, it's a good number. Yeah, everybody. Yeah. So what can we, as distributors, do to compete with Amazon? How can B2B distributors compete or do better than Amazon? Think about it. Hey, you like it or not, we are people, we are smart people here in this room, and we are more equipped than a customer service rep sitting at Amazon trying to help people. We are the product experts of what we are selling. So we talked about low effort experience. It's extremely important to make sure that you have empowered your employees. So if somebody is calling you or somebody is asking for support, the employees have the information they need. And as a distributor, your technical expertise and your product knowledge is far superior compared to a rep sitting in Seattle or maybe Idaho or anywhere. Options are endless. If they don't like whatever they see on your site, or if they don't have the information, they're just going to look somewhere else. They're going to look at your competitor's website. This is interesting. Global workforce shortage. There is a global workforce shortage today. I'm sure everybody here in this room are also kind of feeling it a little bit in terms of hiring talent and retaining them and things like that. If you look at it, this is, I hope you guys can read it. So in 2020, the US has a little over 10% of excess workforce. But that number is expected to drop to about 4% in 2030. In stark contrast, if you look at Germany, in 2020, they have a negative 4% of workforce shortage. And that number is going to be negative 23% by 2030. There is a labor shortage, and there is also a skill mismatch. But how does all this matter? We are in an e-commerce conference. Why are we talking about workforce? It matters because engaged employees and an integrated experience is extremely critical for you to become a low-effort experience company. If your employees, oftentimes employees work in silos. Hey, I'm looking for some support. I go to the customer support personnel, and the customer support personnel needs to get information from accounting, and the accounting needs to get information from somewhere else, and it goes in cycles. And that's not what the customer is asking for. And then you make the process of customer support and you make the process of buying extremely difficult. So it's extremely important for us as distributors to address this challenge. This goes without saying. Your product and your engaged employees are your best salesmen. We talked about, or we saw in a slide where, hey, people want to spend more if they have a low effort experience. It's always easy to get more business from an existing customer than getting new business from a new customer. Everybody here in this room understands this, but then sometimes we do kind of slip on empowering our people. And the user experience you have on the site, or it could be anything. User experience is just not the website. It could be a lot of different things. It could even be the ERPs your system, your associates are using. So if they're able to be more user-friendly, then they're able to be more productive as well. Innovation. It's a buzzword, right? So everybody talks about innovation. What does innovation really mean? Is it like being like an Amazon, sending drones from one place to another? Of course, that's innovation. But then, what can we, as distributors, do differently? What can people here in this room, how does innovation apply to people here? I want to pick an example of a company here in the room. They did something really cool, and they did innovate. That's Jergens. They had a Wi-Fi enabled button to order online, like 1, 2, 3, and that's all they did. Something similar to the Amazon dash button. Well, will all this really lead to revenue? Maybe it is already leading them to revenue. We don't know, but then these are definitely steps in the right direction. These are small things. We cannot. It's simple things which make a big difference. right? Keep things extremely simple. We don't really have to think too much about innovation. What can you do something very simple which can have a big impact on your customer? This is an interesting thing too. And this is a problem we encounter quite a bit when we talk to our customers and also to our prospects. Are you happy with e-commerce post-implementation? This is a question which gets asked a lot. There was actually a survey done by MDM, and it was actually sponsored by BigCommerce. Thanks to them for doing the survey. I actually picked it up from your white paper. On this survey, if you really look at it, 49% of the people surveyed said that, hey, I launched the website, but I'm extremely dissatisfied. I'm not happy at all. I'm really struggling. Why am I really investing? I invested so much money. What am I really getting out of it? And 23% of the people said that, hey, OK, I launched it. It's having some problem. I can live with it, but I'm trying to figure it out. But then 28% of the people surveyed said that they are extremely delighted with it, right? So they are really making the most of it. What can you do to be in this 28%? But then, most importantly, why is there so much dissatisfaction after you launch the site? And this is something I'm sure a lot of people here in the audience will resonate well to. You know why? Because not setting the right expectations. Sometimes distributors or sometimes people think that the minute I launch the website, I'm going to get a lot of orders, right? I went live today, I'm waiting for orders. It never happens that way. I've at least never seen it happen. I would love for that to happen. Right? This is actually something, you have to set the right expectations. You have to iterate and change. Hey, you launched the website. What is the feedback you're getting? What should I be doing better? What else should I be doing? These are questions you need to ask yourself. You can't really expect to launch a website. Of course, launching a website is not easy. It takes a lot of effort, right? It takes a lot of resources. You have to spend a lot of time, and also it costs you money. And then the executive management, hey, we put such a big team to launch the website, but then look at what happened. Where is the money? Because we don't continuously invest on the website. That's where the problem is. So this is something you really need to think about. This is something we always recommend our customers, and I also tell our prospects. Your work actually starts from the day you launch the site. That's very important. You really have to get this. You don't go with zero expectations. So you're really, really happy. Whatever comes out of it, right? So get something launched really quickly. Don't invest a lot of. Of course, it's important to invest resources, but then don't go with the assumption that after I launch this, it's all going to work. Your work is actually going to start after you launch the site. So what is the strategy you have in place? What are the resources you have in place post the launch? It's mostly, you're not really going to spend money at that point because you have the systems built. It's about what are the internal resources you need? How can I keep updating my product content? How can I make things better? What feedback am I getting from the customer? And the different things you need to do so that your work actually starts after you launch the site. And that's all I have. And with this, I just want to say, join the DCKAP ecosystem. We welcome you to join the DCKAP ecosystem and the DCKAP community. We really want to build a great community where all the industrial distributors can learn from each other, and we contribute to each other's successes. And thank you again, everyone, for coming. Welcome to IDS 2019. Thank you.